Without further ado, I'd like to invite world champion aquascaper Josh Sim. Welcome to the UK, Josh.
Thank you everybody for coming to this workshop, and I also like to thank the Horizon teams for making this possible. Since this is my workshop, I would like to set some house rule. Is that okay? It is very important that you follow this rule in the entire workshop. And the rule is, throughout the workshop, if you take any photos, please make sure that I'm looking good in your photo. It is very important, no double chin, my eyes not shut, belly is not showing, that kind of stuff. You know the drill. It's very important, so I will check your handphone before you leave. This is actually my very first trip to the UK. Started from year 2000 until 2019. I always come to the Europe, but not the UK. You know why? Because before 2019, there was no Horizon Aquatics. So thanks again, Nicole, James, for inviting me over and giving me the chance to visit this beautiful country and see all the beautiful people here. But I'm not kidding you, I know a lot about your country. Really, a lot. I know the Spice Girls, David Beckham, James Bond, the Spice Girl, never mind. Let's talk about what we're going to do. If you follow my work in the past, you will know that I did a lot of forests. Yeah, basically from the moment I start this hobby, it is like forest after forest after forest until 2017 that I created Congo. That was basically the last forest that I ever did. After Congo, I more or less completely switched my style to something more underwater, like a little bit of natural NA aquarium, NA. But I would say it is not pure NA, it is a bit like hybrid. So today we are going to do something like that. Yeah, so for some of you or all of you that is expecting to see a complicated forest layout, you might get disappointed. Can they get a refund? No? No refund, sorry. So you just have to pretend you're interested, and so that you won't hurt my feelings. I would like to play a game before we start. And for this game, I would like to have, since I have 5 sticky notes, 5 colors, 5 volunteers. Okay, I would like you guys to guess where is the vanishing point for the tank that I'm going to do. Vanishing point means the end point, the empty area, like here, this empty area. Where is this vanishing point here for the tank that I'm going to do? So just take out the piece of paper that with your name on it, simply stick it on this back panel where you think this vanishing point will be. Anywhere in the tank, just stick it wherever you think it will be. So how we determine the winner, I will not announce now. So I will skate. Whoever that their names got covered by the Hardscape, you are eliminated from the game. Or the plants or the substrate, if your name is covered, then you're out. So I think now we have about 40 centimeter. Yeah, this is maybe, 10 centimeter, give or take. I'm actually doing the easier side first. This side will have 3 main woods only. Yeah, so this side will have a few more combinations. So let's see, put on the second wood. Okay, I would like to introduce to you this rock that I'm going to use today. It is not conventional, but as I say, I'm doing something more underwater. So this kind of round rocks can actually enhance the, let's say, the underwater feeling. Yeah, of course, any other rock is fine, but I just thought, it could be fun, to do something that nobody has done it before. Yeah. I need to put this rock first because I want this piece of, this is quite, let's say flat. So I want to elevate it a little bit. Okay, as I said, this may not be final because I think we will still have to make some final adjustment after everything is done, because I will not be gluing them so soon. And now we have 2 pieces of wood pointing to that side. I mean, to somehow balance it a little bit, this piece, it has to go that way. Of course, it is not wrong if everything go that way, but I feel that to give it a little bit more tension, balance, I want this piece to somehow come this way a little bit. Yeah, it will be something like this. We have to find a way to fit it.
What was your process of thinking before this workshop? What did you have in mind? Did you have plants in mind first, and then to maybe go with the hardscape to fit the plants or your selection?
As I say, I set myself a few criteria, but the hardest thing is that I have not seen the hardscape until yesterday. James sent me some. Yeah, James sent me some crappy video of the hardscape. I have the idea of creating really some underwater feeling kind of layout. Yeah, so I try to go along that line. And the plants, you mentioned the plants. Actually, I try to choose those plants that it is, as I said, easier to maintain, and then can, let's say, maintain the good shape over a longer period of time. So all these bits and pieces, I mean, I put it together, and then yesterday I was working in the dojo, try to figure out and try to put all this together to come out with the concept. When we scape a tank, normally I try to avoid having the hardscape arranged in a way that it is parallel to the front panel. I hope that I can tilt the whole set of the hardscape this way a little bit. Okay, actually, this is not that bad because it is coming in and out, so it is not really straight. But I will try to maybe tilt it a little bit more so that it can have some kind of angle. I don't know whether I can do it. I did it in the dojo yesterday, but this is a little bit different. Now I try to build the right side. The right side to me is maybe slightly more tricky because I don't have enough big pieces to match that side. As I say, this side will be slightly more tricky because I have to combine a few more pieces of wood to create a kind of shape or impact that I want. You know, when you are working alone, and most of us work alone, I don't think your wife will help you. Yeah, so when it comes to this kind of situation, how do you deal with it? Normally, I will use a cable tie to temporarily hold it, and because this is so easy to change, you can cut it or whatever. So I would, it just can't stay in place. Yeah, so I would just use a cable tie to temporarily just hold it. And to me, these 2 pieces is the most difficult part in the entire setup because I need to combine them. And as I say, this tank is only 45 centimeters, and these 2 pieces combined, it is actually quite long. So if this tank is like another 10-15 centimeters, I would be very easily fit these 2 inside. But now I have to maneuver a little bit. So a little bit not so ideal, but let's see. Okay, because in the front we haven't put in any sand substrate, and I do not want to lose the overall height of the wood, because if I just pour in the substrate or the sand, some of this will be covered, which I try to avoid, because imagine if, let's say, the sand covered until here, the overall height of that thing is shrinking. I want to avoid that. So what I'm going to do is that I'm using these smaller pieces of lava rock. I try to find those with flat surface. Yeah, so it can sit firm on the ground, and then I try to see whether I can lift it up a little bit so that the soil will maybe cover here or the sand, and the whole piece of wood is still visible. Yeah, let's try to do it. I'm not sure whether I can't. Yeah, so this piece is possible. So I would imagine that my sand will be maybe until here. So this whole piece is still visible. If I don't do that, the sand maybe will cover until here. Yeah. Okay. I think this will be basically the, let's say, the main structure of this layout. I think it is like maybe 60%. We still have to add some details on it, but the main structure is almost done. Let's glue the main structure. Who want to help me? Gluing? If you are gluing with tissue paper or toilet paper, try to find the toilet paper that is the bad quality one. There are those that will break easily one, because this glue will we want the glue to dissolve the paper, so don't use those very high quality paper.
Josh,
Yes?
as a contest aquascaper, are you always focused on just the front view of the tank?
Did you read my note? Because I have exactly this to explain. So now, since you are asking, I will explain. If we only see the tank from front view, you are looking at a two-dimensional design. So I would say that if let's say we are going for contest, or not even contest, but in general, we shouldn't view our tank two-dimensional. We should always see our tank as a cube. So when we design something, try not to, actually this is a bit similar to what I said just now, don't put everything straight. So we should always view our tank as a three-dimensional cube. So when we design something, try to let the hardscape go all direction. Even though from front, sometimes you don't get to see it that much, but once everything is filled up, the 3D, the effect will come up. So we shouldn't only see it from this side. Yeah, you should always keep in mind that your tank is a cube, 3D. That is very important. And now I really want you guys to come out and help me with this rock. Yeah, so we can start from here. You pick one rock, put it inside. If I don't like it, I will take it away. This is the easiest workshop I ever done.
Do you have a favourite hardscape material? Like a favourite wood, favourite type of stone you tend to go back to and use regular?
Yes, I always recycle my stuff, actually. It is not about favorite. I'm poor. Yeah, but you know, my style lately is all about underwater kind of feeling. So I have, let's say, actually I have a big pile of wood. So I always go back to the same. But you know, it is all about permutation. Yeah, a same piece of wood, you turn it around or you do it the other way, it can give you a totally different kind of feeling. So as I say, it is not about my favorite kind of wood, but you know, whatever that suits my concept. I always believe that there is no bad hardscape. I mean, you go to a shop, any piece of hardscape is useful, depending on how you use them. We will have sand foreground. And so we have to be careful. Just now I was thinking how to avoid the soil from going through here. We have to put some rocks so that to prevent the soil from coming up to the sand. I want to build some kind of a sand platform here. So I will need some rocks as a divider. I will need some really smaller one. Because this will be something quite far, so I just need a smaller one, yeah, something like this. So the idea of having the location of the, let's say, the vanishing point is always, let's say, at 2 and 3, that kind of ratio. So this is halfway, let's say the center of the tank. Usually the vanishing point will be somewhere here or somewhere here. It depends on how you fit the layout. So we usually do not put the vanishing point right at the center or too much to the left or right. So it should be always somewhere here or somewhere here. That is the golden section that you hear guys talking about it. Yeah, most of this rock will actually be covered by sand actually. So you only see a little bit of it. So it may look too big now, but once I put the sand here, actually the sand will cover up until here. So you don't see a lot of rock actually. The sand that I'm choosing today is the Mekong sand. So this sand is ADA sand, right? It is a bit blackish color. It is actually, I think if you look closely, there's some black color sand mixed inside. So I think personally, I feel it matched pretty well with this rock. If I choose a very light color sand, the contrast with this rock will be too much. So I choose that sand, so slightly blackish. So I think it matched quite well with this rock. We can't put it the sand first. We have to make sure that all the soils are all filled up. If we put the sand first and then you still want to put the soil, then it can get mixed up very easily. So we have to make sure that all this area has to fill up with soil. I want to make this part slightly more dramatic. Yeah, so I will add some wood this way to make it, like more futuristic look. Yeah, now I feel that it's a bit too simple. I want to give it slightly more, let's say, more impact. Yeah, I saw this wood yesterday. This kind of wood, I like to use this to create a kind of, pointy effects. It looks different color, but after 1 or 2 months, they will all be the same color. Yeah, so I like to use this kind of wood to, making this kind of effect. What I will do now is to add sand. Yeah, because I think everything is almost done. We will add sand and see how's the effects, and then do the final fine tuning. As I said, these are Mekong sand, a little bit blackish. Yeah, there's some black sand inside, mixed inside, so I think it should go well with the stone that we chose. If you want to raise the platform of this sand, what you should do is that you should adjust it step by step. Meaning, if you see just now what I did, I put the sand and then I raise the rock a little bit and then put more sand, raise a little bit, put more sand, raise a little bit. You don't one shot build the rock so high and then just pour the sand in. That is not the correct way. Currently, I cannot put in more sand because the sand is already higher than the rock. So what I do is that I will just raise the rock a little bit, and then you have a few more millimeter to raise the sand. So keep doing that, so the sand level will keep coming up. So that is the correct way to do it. And there are actually a lot of holes inside here that is currently hollow. As much as we can, just fill up with sand, not soil. Yeah, you can't see it, but just to prevent the soil from coming out. So I normally fill up as much as I can with sand here. And what I always do, is to check the space for planting. You might see that this whole area is soil, but some area could be rock directly underneath. So you can't plant. So if you find this kind of area or space, you need to do something. Either remove the rock, or for example, if let's say I know now, just imagine this area, let's say I can't plant because underneath is a rock and I cannot remove the rock. What I'll do is I put a rock on top. Roll this up, okay. This area could be difficult to plant. Yeah. What I can do is I can fill up more soil because I think still have space, or I can put a small rock here. It's possible. Today, I would like to introduce a very interesting plant to you. According to James and Pavel, I think currently you don't get it in UK.
No.
It is. Yeah, now Horizon got it now, thanks to Pavel and Aquaflora.
Yeah. Well,
It is called Potamogeton gai. Yeah, so this will be our main plant. It is a background plant, usually a background plant. So I'm going to do it here, yeah, a lot. This corner, and a bit here. So there will be 3 places with this guy, here, here, here. Maybe this area slightly more, yeah. Then I will use the foreground plant that I plan today is a mixture of HC Cuba plus mini hairgrass. I think these 2 combination is perfect for foreground. I do not like a single foreground kind of execution because I think it is a bit monotonous. Yeah, I always like to mix a little bit. If you don't like these 2 combination, you can find other combination. But personally, I feel that mini hairgrass and Cuba is a perfect combination. And how we should plant it is that we should not plant too many. Just a few clumps of HC with some hairgrass here, some here, and let them grow sparsely. I don't want them to cover everything. If you see my work, my foreground is always some mixture of sands and some plants here and there. So I think this is how, but of course it takes time to look good. Maybe I would say 2 months. And in front of the gai, I will try to do tannelus, because I think the shape of the tannelus and the color match the gai perfectly. Gai is also needle-like, the leaf long and wavy and slim. It's just like tannelus, but tannelus is stay at the bottom. Gai is growing up, so I use the let's say the tannelus to cover the leggy part of the gai. So that is my plan. Done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Josh. Absolutely beautiful. I'd also like to say a special thanks to our sponsors, who is Chiros EU and Aquaflora, for donating the plants.
Cheers.